And so these primary memory difficulties result in secondary challenges, including behavior that's interpreted as deliberate. They might be labeled as lazy, not caring, non-compliant. That then results in secondary emotional and behavioral challenges. They become very frustrated or angry. They start to worry about getting in trouble. They fatigue because their brain is working exponentially hard to get to the same outcome. They feel overwhelmed. They start disengaging from learning, or they start acting out. So what can we do? Well, while I would love to do a detailed neuropsychological assessment for all students so that we can effectively understand a student's unique abilities, there are many things that you can do, and you're probably doing a lot of these already. When faced with brain-based impairments, I would encourage you to take a neurobehavioral approach. And what I mean by that is to first understand and connect with your specific student's unique brain. And what I mean by that is have a think about what the student does better in or shows a strength in, and what their specific challenges are. Do they fit in one of those 3 buckets of sensory difficulties or sensory learning difficulties, short-term memory or long-term? Is it an attentional problem? Is it that they can't get it in effectively or get it out effectively? I'd encourage you to think about, what do you notice? What do other staff or their parents say in terms of their functioning in different areas? And what might you already know about the student's learning or functioning from other therapists managing their condition? And then write those down. Then I'd encourage you again to activate your inner scientist teacher. So this means I'd encourage you to think about what the task or expectation that we're asking of the student. Then what does the brain have to do in order to complete that task? What are the primary brain-based symptoms the student is presenting with? Also, what are the secondary behaviors you're noticing? Are they becoming frustrated because things are going too fast for them? What are some of the strengths that we could potentially draw on? And then that should hopefully then lead to what might be the most appropriate accommodations or supports we might be able to draw on. The overall goal is to acknowledge and center the child's unique brain functioning at the center of your approach to ultimately reduce the secondary behaviors and support their learning. So, how do we know what brain-based learning and memory strategies are available to support a young person's learning and memory? Well, there are 2 different types of strategies. We have internal strategies that focus on things that the young person does themselves internally in their mind, such as actively improving their attention through rehearsal. Now, these strategies can be difficult to grasp and require lots of practice. However, once they're mastered, they can be quite effective ways to learn and remember. And then the other way is through external strategies. These are tools that students use to compensate for their memory or learning difficulties. Now, some of the strategies I talk about will cross both boundaries, require some adult support or external strategy and some internal strategy use. And so it's about finding the right one that fits. I'm going to start on external strategies. These are tools for compensating for learning and memory challenges. And they're ones that you're probably very familiar with. And so I won't spend too much time on them. But for example, we can support a young person's attention. So that first arrow, how can we support their attention? We can help students by encoding information more effectively by decluttering environments, reducing distractions, or optimizing the sensory features of an environment. We can use visual cues or ensuring that we call someone's name before telling them something important. Then we can do some things to support our working memory or our short-term memory. Essentially, it's about reducing the load on the person's working memory by externalizing it, putting it out onto paper. This might include to-do lists or notes, and then supporting the student to organize or prioritize them. Getting the ideas out helps with reducing that load in that really short space that's available. We can support retrieval, pulling information out, by having a routine. That reduces the strain on the young person's explicit memory and kicks in procedural memory, where each task acts like a prompt for the next thing. So, for example, every day we have dinner. That's the prompt to then brush your teeth. And that's the prompt to do the next thing, because they are always something that we do in that routine. We can also support retention and retrieval by organizing information. How can we support the young person to put similar information together, or color code them using highlighters? That can help prompt a young person's memory by categorizing information. And we can't pass by this conversation without talking about technology. Apps have come an extremely long way and continue to improve. So apps like, for example, Evernote, it helps you take notes. It allows the students to take pictures or screenshots, make to-do lists, record their voice reminders, all of that in this one sort of platform. And again, I have no association with them, but this is just one example.